Man, so I just came across a quote, and a quote by Alvin Toffler, Alvin. Last name is Toffler, Toffler, and that stuck with me. The quote says, "The illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn." I was like, woo. And so then I was like, let me look a little further into this and see exactly who he was, because no, I did not know who he was. And it says Toffler wrote a global bestseller back in 1970. And the book was called Future Shock, where he talked about information overload and how fast society was changing. And the more I think about it, the more it connects to everyday life. Because every day we're learning how to deal with people. Whether it's at work, at the store, in our families, or in any other kind of relationship, right? We're forced to see people for who they really are. One of the hardest lessons to accept, I'm talking from experience, I can only talk about me, is that one cannot change everyone. One can't change anybody. Everyone has different personalities, different behaviors, different patterns about themselves. And sometimes you just have to learn to read in between the lines to see who's real and who's not. And I want to elaborate on that. It's like who's real for your individual personality and who's not. Some people, no matter their age, they can be old as shit or younger than I don't know what, but they just won't get it. Just like that old In Vogue song says, never gonna get it, never gonna get it, never ever gonna get it. But that's okay. Because part of growth is realizing when to let go and stop trying to change people who don't want to change. You know, that's the same as me. Like somebody trying to change me, I know I'm not going to change, right? Unless I want to. And then it's what kind of change am I doing? I mean, as long as I'm not hurting anyone, as long as I'm not hurting myself. Dealing with different types of people can be frustrating, but in the end, it's how we truly learn and grow wisdom. Like, to not be afraid to jump on in there and go through the hard times and the hard situations with people. I mean, I can only share from my experience. That's how I've learned. Okay, so I wanted to go a little bit deeper, and I looked it up and was like, what is the point of learning, unlearning, and relearning? And it says, being able to learn, unlearn, and relearn is about surviving and staying sharp in a world that's changing faster than ever. Toffler was warning that the real danger is now not ignorance on paper, but being stuck in old patterns while everything around you shifts. True that. What Toffler was saying, the pace of change in technology, work, and daily life keeps speeding up. And that speed can confuse and overwhelm people who are not ready to adapt. Future shock is that stressed, disorientated feeling when the world moves faster than your mind, habits, or systems are willing to move. Why learning is not enough. You can have a degree, read books, or know your job well and still fall behind if you cling to what used to be true when reality has moved on. Wait, I'm gonna stop right there. I saw something else today by someone that I have watched in the past for many years. And this doctor was saying, embrace chaos. He had a short out today. Embrace chaos. I don't know, that just came to my mind. Anyway, a lot of what we're taught about work, relationships, health, money, even how the world works was built for a different time. So treating it as forever fact can trap you. What unlearning really means. I just thought about something else. I think that's why radical acceptance was so hard for me. I wasn't really ready to unlearn that. Why are people this way? Why do they act that way? Why do they do this to this person and that person? Why, And so, unlearning that was very, very hard for me. And just coming to grips with radical acceptance. So it says what unlearning really means. Unlearning is being willing to question your own I already know, and you definitely see those where I already know that, and release beliefs, habits, or rules that no longer fit what you now see and know. It's like scraping off old paint before putting on a new coat. If you don't strip it first, the fresh layer will crack and peel. Because the foundation is wrong. Woo-wee. That's why, Rome wasn't built in a night. There are a lot of problems. And yes, it gets uncomfortable. Peeking under that carpet, peeking under that rug where you sweep it all up under there. And hide things in the cracks of the wall is so hard. It makes some people so uncomfortable. I get it. Why relearning matters. Relearning is building a clearer, updated understanding on top of better information, new experience, and a wider point of view. Not one person can do it. I think it's a collective of everyone together. I'm going to call it the good, the bad, the ugly, even though they say there's no such thing as the good and bad and ugly, but that's how my mind runs. But it actually is no one's right, no one's wrong, bringing it together. I don't know. It's not going to be easy. In a world of, but to ignore it and not even try, I don't know about all that. In a world of information overload and fake news, relearning includes checking what's true, what's partial, and what was straight up manipulation or outdated thinking. Woo, again. All right, I guess it says, to break it down in everyday terms, learn, unlearn, relearn. Here we go. Learn. This is what I thought was right at the time. Unlearn. Now I see that was incomplete, harmful, or just old. So I'm willing to put it down. Relearn. With what I know now, this is how I choose to think and move differently going forward. So some people refuse to unlearn toxic patterns. old prejudices or controlling behaviors, even when life keeps showing them new evidence. They can read, they can write, quote scriptures, quote books, but in Toffler's sense, they're illiterate because they won't update themselves. The ones who are really growing are the ones who say, okay, that belief, that reaction, that way of treating people, it doesn't work anymore. And then actually practice something new. Now that's learning, unlearning, and relearning in real life. Yikes.